Yeah.
What font size should we avoid?
10 characters to the inch or 12 point is standard. You don't go much bigger than that. Too small, smaller than that, we're going to yell at you. And bigger than that is just going to look really awkward and stupid. Part of the reason we say, and we're so explicit on the font size and spacing and all of that, is because most of the magazines out there in the world pay by the word. But a word isn't a and the an elephant. We don't actually count the words, we count the spaces, because it's magazine word. We all know that if you're using a 10-point Courier font, one manuscript page is 250 words, give or take. We have our own formulas, but we're counting space to fill a magazine because we want to know how big is the magazine going to be. So, simple font, you don't want to stand out like this. Now there was a book, there must have been a book published before I got into publishing, that said when you send out a manuscript, you want to do everything you can to stand out. We editors all know this book existed somewhere, and we know that everybody who reads it misreads it. What it's supposed to say is you want to stand out because of the quality of your story. You do not want to stand out because of the packaging of your story. Unless you're a stupid author trying to keep from getting published, in which case focus on the packaging and ignore the content, really. I do recall a time working at the magazines when we got a postcard in the mail once. Postcard said the box is coming. We didn't think anything of this until the next week when we got another postcard that said the red box is coming. The week after that it said the big red box is coming. There were, I think, 5 or 6 postcards in this sequence, and then one day the red box showed up. Gorgeous hand-carved box. Nice, like wooden box, brass fittings. It was bright red. I don't know why it was red. It would have been really nice in the original wood tone. And inside this gorgeous box was a manuscript. If the author had spent 1/4 as much time writing the story as he spent creating the box, it would have been a work of literature. It would have been a masterpiece. But he didn't. So he spit it out, and we don't remember it. There was a joke going around until well, actually just after computers came out with colored inks and whatnot. It wasn't so much of a joke. You know, you want to stand out, so everybody's sending black ink on white paper. I'm going to use purple ink on pink paper. And yeah, that's a way to stand out. Heck, we don't even like websites where it's red text on black background, which is ink anyway. But just imagine these things as a manuscript. Packaging is, well, yeah, it's a way to stand out wrong. One day, a pizza box showed up in the office, and inside was the manuscript with a smaller self-addressed stamped pizza box. So we returned the manuscript. Very creative. He did remember the self-addressed stamped envelope, but it was pizza box. So, you know, the manuscript, not so much. And we sent it back with an anchovy clip to the rejection. Hey, get what you paid for. Sometimes the editor wants to know that the story he's reading, the person who's written it, is actually a person. Because, you know, we're reading 400 and 500 pieces of crap every single week, and it'd be really nice to know there was a person on the other end and maybe the brain in the person on the other end. But don't go too far into detail. When we ask for a cover letter, and some of us do and some of us don't, again, read the guidelines. When we ask for a cover letter, what we're saying is, tell us something about yourself that actually relates to this story. So if the key plot point in the story has something to do with some intricate piece of microbiology that looks like it's completely out of left field, but you, as a research microbiologist, happen to know it's true because you discovered it 2 weeks ago, tell us that in the cover letter. If you're sending a manuscript to a publication that has never published your work before, because we don't know who you are, because you've never sent us anything before, but you've published 15 books on some topic we don't normally read, and you have 87 articles in the key journals elsewhere in the world, it's not going to sell us your story any better, but it is going to make us slow down because you probably know how to write. You can tell us these things. This is how to get published. Now, if you don't want to get published, tell us you've written 15 books and 87 stories that haven't sold yet. Within science fiction, there's something that has to do with cats. It's I get it frequently in Mensa too. There is a large crowd of people that's really into cats, and I get it. I dig it. You are cat people. You've got cats. That's nice. I'm personally not a cat person, but I'm not going to hold it against you. I'm the guy writing the check. Remember, The editor is always right because he's the one writing the check. It gives us a God complex, but we need what we can get because they don't pay us very well. When you send a story that has to do with the lifestyle of a cat, it's important to know you know something about a cat. That's cool. When you send me a hard science fiction set in the cold of space that has nothing to do with cats, has no felines anywhere, and it doesn't even have fur, then telling me in your cover letter, quote, I am owned by 3 cats and my husband lives with us too, just makes me think you're a crazy cat lady. And that phrase, I am owned by X cats, is not unique. That comes up time and again in cover letters. I don't know why. Except it's a stupid author trick to keep from getting published. So, you've screwed around with the cover letter for those of us who ask for them. Some of us like cover letters because they're a good place to write notes when we're reading your manuscript, if we don't want to scribble all over the manuscript. Other publications actually say, don't bother with a cover letter. Because what's a cover letter going to say? Well, it's going to say, Dear Editor, my name is Joe Smith. I have enclosed my story. Here's the title. It's this long, and I'd like you to publish it in the magazine. Proper manuscript format has your name in the upper right corner, upper left corner. Yeah, I got it turned around. Name and address in the upper left corner. Has the title of the manuscript. Has the word count in the upper right corner. And if you're sending it to me, I'm pretty damn sure it's because you want me to pay you money and publish it. So if that's all you're going to say in your cover letter and they don't require it, don't do it. You can't sell a story with a cover letter. You can get a story rejected with the cover letter, but you can't sell it because the editor's going to read the story first. Also, if you want to keep from getting published, assume the editor's really, really stupid. Because if you assume the editor has a brain, you're not going to do things like sending a 200 or 300 or 400 word manuscript 3 times a week by surface post across the Atlantic Ocean every week for 6 months without return postage. Wait, this one gets better. This has actually happened in real life.
It's the same manuscript.
No. 3 times a week, surface post from England to New York City. Each cover letter says, this is another one of the stories in my series of stories, all exactly 200 words long. First of all, we're only going to buy and publish 1 story. The readers aren't going to know that you've written 75 stories that are all exactly 200 words long, and it's, gosh, isn't that a cute piece of artwork? No, we're looking at 1 damn story. But this author had it in his head that a whole bunch of 200 word stories would be something really, really cool. And he also sent some longer ones. And backing up to the self-addressed stamped envelope, we weren't shipping them back across the Atlantic for free because he didn't send us any postage. But we did at that time send out a postcard saying, you've sent us a manuscript and we don't want it. If you want the manuscript back, send us postage. You know, before computers, it was hard to retype them, and just after computers came in, it was still sort of expensive. We wised up. We didn't send this guy a postcard for each story. We sent him one every couple of weeks saying, here are the stories we have. If you want them, send postage. Never any postage and always 3 stories a week. And then one week I looked at my assistant and I said, hey, we haven't gotten anything from him. Well, I remember his name, but you don't need it. And he said, no, we haven't gotten anything from him. Gosh, I hope he's okay.